All right, it looks like we're probably live. So, hi, welcome to this
We're probably
user group meeting for the Node tooling working group meeting. Today there was just a couple things I wanted to look at. One was the stuff with SHUtil. I know Ian, he's going to be here in a sec, but he had been working on implementing a SHUtil module with Rimtree. And so he has made some progress on that, and so I would like to have him talk about it, but here he is. So hello, Ian. I saw that you made some progress on the SHUtil stuff. Want to give us an update on what happened there?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, I did add the new SHUtil module, and then I just to start, I just directly ported Rimraf into there, minus all of the globbing functionality. And then, so that was working, and then I've started working on just cleaning that code up to make it more in line with the existing Node libraries. So I used assert, for example, to check that input parameters were valid. So I removed all of that, and now it throws the proper invalid argument type exceptions and things like that. I also added some tests for it. And so I guess the next steps are, it still needs more cleanup, I think. I'm not 100% sure what needs to be done there. I need to kind of look through some of the existing modules to get a better idea of sort of the style that I should be going for. And then I think it probably needs additional testing. I'll look at the existing tests in Rimraf as well and see if there's any that we can sort of move over to make sure we're covering as much as possible. So yeah, I think that's kind of where that's at. If anyone has, I just created a PR on my fork because I wasn't ready to submit it to Node proper yet. I posted a link to the PR in the tooling channel on Slack. So yeah, if anyone has feedback or suggestions for what kind of needs to happen there, that would be appreciated. Otherwise, I'll kind of just be working through that when I have time here over the next week.
Awesome. I posted a link to that pull request here in the Zoom chat.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you need, or would you appreciate any sort of help on this? Is there anything that somebody can pick up and run with if you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely welcome some help. I don't have a ton of experience working directly in Node. So like I said, just even the style of how the internal libraries are written is something I could use sort of some help with. Yeah, if anyone wants to work on it with me, that would be great. Otherwise, even just some feedback would be helpful, and I can just work through it myself. It's kind of up to you guys.
So I'll take a look, but in terms of style, the standard library is a hodgepodge of
right
of a ton of things. As long if you can pass the linter, I don't think you'd get too much style pushback.
Okay, that's good to know.
There might be issues with early versus late initialization of stuff, if there is any, but we have tests that cover essential bits.
Okay.
So I think that most like the idea of Node Core is put in some tools in place. So if you can pass the linter and the test suite, you're 95% there.
Okay, great. I guess, I mean, that's something else I guess I could use some feedback on is like when would be an appropriate time to submit a proper PR, like kind of when it gets to the stage where that would be appropriate.
I would say at that point, if you have, if you're passing the test suite and you have enough coverage of the module,
Okay.
that's good enough for most things.
Okay, sure. That sounds good. I guess the only other like sort of stylistic type thing that I was wondering about, I sort of modeled this after like the FS utilities where we have rimtree and rimtree sync, and none of it is promise-ified. Is that sort of what we should be going for?
I think it would, since that's the necessary minimum, I think that would be enough.
I think it would be pretty easy, sort of like the FS module does, to just export a promise-ified version as well.
Yeah, I think that could happen. The next stage.
Sure. Okay.
Because most modules aren't promise-ified yet, so.
Okay. Sure.
It's not expected. It's not enough. I think.
Right. Okay.
We might see other people
well,
think differently, but.
Sure. I mean, that is an easy change to make, I guess, depending on the feedback we get. Okay, so I'll work on making sure that the linter is passing and that the test coverage is good. And then once I get to that point, I'll submit a proper PR.
Sure.
Yeah, on the promise end of things, I think that's something that should be added. I don't think you have to wait to implement it to open the pull request. And if people are asking for it, then let's go ahead and do it. But yeah.
Okay, sure. I mean, that's a really minor change, so I can just add that in there.
All right. Yeah. So I can just take a look at the. I mean, so you said you took rimraf and essentially copy paste and then ripped some stuff out with the globs.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm wondering if there needs to be some sort of copyright notice in here.
Right. Yeah, it depends. Like, I mean, at one point I was thinking I would just like rewrite it all. But there is definitely some stuff in there that I think we'll want to keep. There's some specific stuff related to handling permissions in Windows, and also handling something to do with like file handles not being closed in a timely manner on Windows. So I think I can't even really test that stuff locally. So I think like those sort of workarounds that we should probably just leave in there as is.
Yeah, it's something about, I'm sure somebody knows more about it than I do, but yeah, it's like something is not a synchronous operation. It's like when you remove a directory or something like that, it happens, and the rimref has to like ping to make sure it's actually gone or something.
On Windows.
Yeah, that sounds...
I remember this bug.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, great work. I mean, I can, pop in and see if I can review it, or I'll give it a shot and try it out. And
Sure.
Looks great. Thank you.
Yeah, testing, it was a little bit scary. I was afraid I was going to erase my entire hard drive, but I was careful, I guess.
I'll plan sometime, maybe not this week, but probably next week, to get special test on a VM so that if it breaks, it's not risky.
Right.
Is the life is suffering comment yours, or is that?
No, that's directly from the rimraf source.
Okay.
I was wondering what should we keep inside the module by itself, specifically for Windows, as eventually calling out upper level feature from libuv, so that we have minimum platform specific code within the module by itself. Just me thinking loud there. So
right. Yeah, it would be great to not have those Windows specific workarounds in the module.
So I'll plan with Yao and Bartos sometime next week to look into that.
Okay, great.
I think the Julia people all pushed some code to the libuv master, which will turn into libuv2 at some point in the future. Workaround. So the current libuv has some limits in terms of backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Why it can, overhaul the Windows handle issue, but I think there's already like a chunk of work there.
Yeah, that's what I was not sure about. So maybe we should look into how we can get the best of both worlds in the single thing, still keeping the rules or implicit rules about not having much platform-specific code directly in the module. No way to get that done this week, but I'll try to get some time next week.
Great.
Awesome.
Anyway, great work. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Very excited. All right. So, is there anything else on the SHUtil front?
I mean, not that I can think of. Eventually, we'll probably want to start moving some of the other functionality into that library. But for right now, I'm just focused on the rim tree. So that's it for me.
When you do make, oh, go ahead.
I had a thought about trash can recycle bin support. It's something that I had in a couple of my tools, and it does work much better than actual delete on Windows.
So you're just moving all the files into a different directory, basically?
Yeah, I think in Windows at least, there's a system call that you can do that's like, it's simpler than that actual file system delete. Move stuff to the recycle bin. Yeah, and anyway, I think that if there is recycle bin support in any way, it should be in SHUtil. Recycle bin trash can.
That'd be an interesting option or flag you could pass to it.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah. I kind of feel like that should be a separate. I kind of feel like that should be a separate function entirely.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. It
desktop
doesn't
integration
necessarily need to be part of RimRaf. Because Windows has the recycle bin, Mac has the trash can, and Ubuntu has something.
There's a GNOME
Yeah.
trash thing. Never seen a command line tool use it, but why not?
Yeah, I think I had a tool, and in Windows, you can't delete open files, but you can move them to the trash can, to the recycle bin. So in some cases, it's nicer, it's easier, and safer. So for next month, the next method might be shutil.trash.
Yes.
All right. So the only other thing was the arg parsing stuff, and nobody has gotten to that as of yet, as we're all busy with other things. I was really thinking hard about sitting down and banging something out, but I didn't do it. But I thought about doing it. I didn't do it though. So we haven't gotten anywhere on that. If you do not have access to the repo and want to contribute, just let me know. But yeah, I made like a repository that we can use and discuss this stuff. Right now it's private. Maybe I should just make it public. I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to pay attention to it anyway, so it might as well be public. But yeah, so I had just kind of like opened an issue and described this as kind of what we need to do. And we're just kind of waiting until somebody does something. And that's how things go. But as far as other agenda items, I don't have anything at the moment. The past few weeks I've been pretty heads down with, writing some tooling. And so, yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at this stuff. But does anybody have anything else? I know, Raphael, you said you're busy working on something over there. I don't recall if it's applicable to.
It's a bit orthogonal. JIP3
Mm-hmm.
tool, but it's a tool, but it's Python. I have like in the back of my mind, I have a long-term roadmap, and I want to make it polyglot in some way. I might find a way to compile it to WASM or something. I want to make interop between JavaScript. I want to make JIP3 polyglot and then be able to interact with JavaScript, Python, and other stuff. And it's a disgusting heavy tool. There's a ton of like R parsing and rim wrapping and everything. So it might be interesting down the road as a test case for I want to call it a new generation of tools. What I had something. Oh, I wanted to say happy Node 12 to everybody. We got on the tools front, if anybody's watching, Jui managed to implement a ton of bootstrapping optimizations. Node 12 should bootstrap 50 to 60% faster than Node 11. So, quick tools will benefit from that immensely. Tools that fork a lot will benefit from that. A huge, I think it's more like 75% on Windows speed up of bootstrapping. And soon to come are snapshots. And initially we're gonna snapshot the bootstrapped node state, but it is on the non-existing roadmap of Node to be able to ship snapshots with the binary. So essentially what we'll be able to do is compile tools into snapshot form and ship that and get even faster spinning up and all the benefits of packaging and compilation. So that's one giant leap closer.
I'm not sure I quite understand what snapshots is in this context. Do you have
snapshots means taking the binary state of V8 plus it could also track OS handles of all sorts, and just jump to that state and not run all the bootstrapping code that leads to that state. So code parsing, handles, etc., compilation and running, we can bypass that step and just boot Node into a certain state and run from that. So tools that have a deep Node modules tree that they need to parse and compile and run for the actual action, the first line of tools is executed, will benefit from having that done as in a way of compilation. You boot your tool once, you take a snapshot of its state, and you can ship that snapshot as a resource, a separate file, or bundle it. And from now on, you have a new improved binary that just starts at that state and can run from that, and doesn't need to pack, to ship, to parse, compile, and run all of the steps, and just perform the important bits. So that's snapshot. It's using it as a metaphor that we borrowed from V8. V8 works that way on your browser and in Node. V8 starts with all of the primordials, all of the intrinsic functions, everything of the constants, everything's already in memory. V8 just starts at that point, and now the Node binary will start one step further, and after that, the plan is to enable core level, platform level tooling that will allow every developer to take a snapshot of their tool at any point and ship that snapshot as a resource. So it has a ton of other benefits for debugging and for server scripts, etc. But I always look at it with a tooling mindset. I really like that idea.
That seems like that opens up a lot of possibilities. So would you actually ship like a snapshot file, or would you need to ship, if I was a user and I wanted to use it for my own tool and ship something, would you ship that snapshot file, or would you ship it, you'd have to ship a binary too, or what?
So the snapshot itself it's binary. It's serialized state of V8 plus other things. So there are a bit of subtleties. So for now, the code, the standard library Node is file mapped from the binary into memory, and V8 looks at it as what's called external resources. The actual strings, the kilobytes of string that comprise the code of the standard library are not loaded into the V8 heap. So essentially, they won't be a part of the snapshot unless we add those explicitly. And that nuance will have to be dealt with snapshots. If you want to be able to step through your code, you need the code, and so you could serialize it, pack it into your snapshot file, and to have something complete. In terms of how it will actually be, it's still TBD, but the possibilities are that if you give it a specific name. The default vanilla node binary will know how to load it. It could come with a CLI flag, and possibly so that's what we're doing today. We'll have like a compiler, a tool that takes a vanilla node and the snapshots and generates a new binary, but that's platform dependent, and you know how Node is amazing at doing cross-platform native stuff. So, but that's an option. So vanilla and snapshot, or vanilla and with a new snapshot bundled. Everything is possible. You know, in terms of the code.
Oh. All right, so that sounds pretty cool. It'll be fun to see where that goes. Okay, so yeah, does anybody have anything else they want to bring up? If not, you know, you can get your half hour back, and we'll end it early. Anybody have anything they want to bring up or propose or kick around an idea or something like that?
No. Fine.
All right, super. So, yeah, we'll take a look at, or at least I will. I don't know. Nobody else has to if you don't want to, but I'm going to take a look at what Ian's done, and then hopefully later this week or maybe next week I can look further into argument parsing, an implementation if I have a chance. But yeah, so all right. So I think I'm going to call it. Thank you everybody for showing up, and see you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.